My name is Mike Richardson, and agility is my passion, and I'm very lucky to be here today with Bob Schultz. And we have just recorded a webinar on the agile leadership of the Navy SEALs. And I wanted to spend a few minutes talking with you, Bob, about some of the principles that we've shared in that webinar. And we've talked about, amongst other things, we've talked about chaos. We've talked about an acute form of priority management and time management, resource management called triage. We've talked about learning in the form of insight. We've talked about luck, the luck factor, and how that shows up in the operations of Navy SEALs. And we've talked about how all of that adds up to the bottom line of a journey and how a journey unfolds. And so if you're interested to hear more, please visit mydrivingseat.com, www.mydrivingseat.com, and click on the blog tab and then select the category called Everyday Agile Leaders, and you'll be able to find that webinar and some related materials. Bob is a former Navy SEAL with 30 years of experience under his belt, and then as you'll read when you visit the blog, a very extensive career, first of all in the Navy, in the Leadership Academy, and then at University of San Diego Business School, where he was heavily involved as the program director of the Global Leadership Program. So Bob, welcome. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
You've shared five principles with us, the secrets of agility that the Navy SEALs leverage all the time. We mentioned chaos, and you talk about the Navy SEALs being masters of chaos. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Navy SEALs are masters of chaos because they create chaos in the enemy's backyard, and when they go into chaotic circumstances or chaotic situations, they figure out what the patterns are pretty quickly, and with the strength of their organization and their tactical skills, they create order out of chaos, and then we bring in other forces to manage that.
Okay. And then when we talk about triage as an acute form of priority management and time management, you've talked about this and proposition of front sight focus and situational awareness. Tell us a bit more about that.
The leader has got to do both. The leader's primary job is keeping the big picture in mind, but also has to keep the small details in mind. Has to have been there and done that. Has to find the right balance. The leader who's too focused on the big picture loses track of the details, and his subordinates, her subordinates, will feel disengaged. But if he's too far down in the weeds, then nobody's watching the big picture. So that finding that good balance is really an important skill for a leader to manage the constant change as well as the details that are necessary to master.
Okay. And when we talked about learning and insight, continuing on that same theme, you said that understanding the environment, the context, the environment of the mission that we're about to embark upon is crucial. Understanding the environment. Tell us more about that.
Before we go on missions, we spend a lot of time studying the environment. It's very important, and we need to go beyond the superficial level. I think that applies in almost any endeavor, and the good leaders are constantly asking questions to get down below that superficial level. And you have to assume that things are not what they appear to be. What's really going on here? And if you don't do that up front, you will get caught by surprise.
And then another factor of agility is luck, and you talk about making friends with Murphy. Tell us about that.
And Murphy's always there. The more you do this type of work, the more you see things go wrong, and almost every lesson is written in blood somewhere by somebody. And so we plan for things to go wrong, and a good plan has all these contingencies built in, and that's the essence of a good military operation. Is it will not falter when something goes wrong. We've got a backup plan, a backup plan to the backup plan.
Okay, so plan for Murphy's Law. Make friends with Murphy. Yep. And last but not least, when we think about the overall journey and being oriented to the journey in the right way, what you've talked about is expect disorienting change. It's kind of almost like plan for it, expect it, it's going to happen, and so be ready for it. Tell us more about that.
Well, part of it is how you train your people so that they don't get stuck in a rut and are in a panic when things start changing. And so in the SEALs and other special operations, they train people to be resilient. And change is scary. But if you don't expect it, then you're not going to be prepared to respond when it does happen. And so if you expect disorienting change and you plan for it, you're going to be able to position yourself in a way that takes advantage of it, finds the opportunities, overcomes your adversaries, and brings you out on top.
Great. Well, if you like what you've heard here, and you want to know more about the agility secrets of Navy SEALs, and in particular how to learn and apply those secrets to business, then go and watch the webinar that Bob and I just recorded for an hour and learn more detail, more depth, more breadth about the experiences and the insights that Bob has shared with us. Again, if you want to find that, go to www.mydrivingseat.com, click on the blog tab, and then select the Everyday Agile Leaders blog category. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.